Welcome to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from my bookie studios. It is Friday, April 9th. I'm your girl, Pilar Lastra. To my left, we've got D-Mac. To my right, we've got Maz. We've got Fish in the Fishbowl ready to give us any breaking news from the Masters. We've got Eazy D behind the glass. And, of course, like always, we've got our boy Luke manning all of our social media. So make sure that you are joining in on all the fun at Woodward Sports across the board. And my friends, I want to remind you that before our first hour is up, so in the 3 o'clock hour, we will be playing our new trivia show. And Tom Mazzawey has promised that our questions are a little bit easier today. So make sure that you are giving us a call, 313-552-6322, to get in on the trivia question with Get Home with Hall Financial
What
Baseball
would you say,
Trivia.
Maz, on the Mazzawey scale?
They're easy. Yeah, they're easy for him.
Listen,
It's like a 5.
it's a 5 on the
Maybe
Mazzawey
a
scale.
6.
What I want everybody out there, listen. When we do these contests, we got to get in. You got to get into the flow. There's a method to the Mazzawey madness. This is only a 5 out of 10. Yes, you should be excited. I expect somebody to win the Detroit Wing Company. Thank you, Gus. $100 gift card this Friday for the beautiful weekend. Maz, can you give them a little hint? Do you have a subject matter, maybe?
I got it's World Series centric.
World Series centric.
World Series centric. Tigers related.
Tigers related. So there you go. And a 5 on the Maz scale, which is like a 10 on my scale. So
Right.
No, you got these.
you'll be fine. I did.
Yeah.
These are legit. I got these. You should too. But I'm a little bit more of a baseball.
And I
nerd.
want to see our Facebook, YouTube, and all the people that watch us and write in. Call in. Kevin and Pete are dominating the phone lines
They
right now.
are.
Not that I don't mind them, but let's get
They're
them in.
determined to win, and I love this. So keep calling, because
We'll help you.
I was going to say, that's it. It's Friday. I'm going to start giving out clues. And
Like you weren't.
Yeah, you were giving out clues the whole time.
Take it to the house, Pete. Take it to the house.
I just want to say, I was on the Drew and Mike podcast last night, and I gave them the questions because, all you guys complaining that they're too hard. They all thought they were great questions.
There's no question they're great questions,
questions.
Maz. The fact is that there's 3 people in the country, one of them in the state, that I'm not sure if they're watching the program yet, that has up to your mentality. All we're saying is
I
it's like
agree.
if I'm going out to play hockey with somebody that hasn't played on my level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
No,
take
it would-
it easy on us just a little bit,
it
Maz.
would be like me playing hockey against you when I've never really even been on ice skates.
Are you kidding? What? Put a stick in your hand? You're dangerous. All right. Doesn't matter if you can stand up or not.
Look,
Anyways,
I'm not going to tell you what do you hit in a baseball game. I'm not going to give you that
Maz,
question.
they gotta earn it your way, right? Just a little bit on a. Maz's feel. Look at the shirt he's wearing.
you could
Maz is
ask-
feeling comfortable on Friday.
You could ask questions like maybe, what was the baseball originally covered with? What do you think?
Cowhide?
Rawhide.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, it was cowhide. Most people probably wouldn't have known that.
How did you know that?
Because I have a trivia question show, and those are the kinds of things that I ask. Let me ask you another trivia
Go ahead.
question, Tom Mazzawey, that you would find on my trivia show. That's a little bit easier.
don't know
Yeah,
alcohol.
easier than his.
But do you?
Much easier than
But
his.
that's
His
the
is
point.
like, oh, what-
You have to earn the gift
Okay.
certificate. If you walk in to Detroit Wing Company with a $100 gift certificate, you say, "Tom Mazzawey, I earned this." They
I
say,
earned
"Oh,
it.
you must have earned that
I
one."
earned it.
Go ahead, hit me.
Who gets to hit the ball first in baseball?
Who gets to hit the ball first? The away team.
There you go. See?
The visitors.
You would do very well on my show.
What do I win? On
You
your
don't
show?
drink, Tom, so they
So
drink.
What do
on
I
my-
win on your show?
No. You win an upgraded premium subscription to EliteSportsBetting.com.
Okay.
I mean, that's good money that you're, and you're possibly getting some really great advice to make more money, possibly making more money if
Sounds
you use
good.
their advice. Fish, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say that Maz's questions are like hard, and they're like not even baseball. What question? What player hit the 535th home run on the Braves, and what billboard was in the background? And
But-
what was the guy's name that caught the baseball?
But Fish.
And where did he go after he caught the baseball?
I'm gonna
Where did
stick
he
up for
live?
Maz right
Where was
here.
his hometown? Like, I want baseball questions, not like, oh, that guy hit it 750 feet, and where did it land?
Wow, he hit it
What
that far?
car? What car did it hit?
But Fish, it's
Or
Maz's
did it land on some
game,
guy's balcony?
And can we not agree that you're talking about what was in the picture when he hit it? That means that he gives you clues that if you pay attention, right? So if you play Tom Mazzawey, the reason it's called Maz's trivia game is because Maz makes the rules. Like you said, Pilar's are easier. Join hers on Wednesday. But right now on the hook, in the 3 o'clock hour on this Friday, I think that by the questions at hand in the Tom Mazzawey game, we will give away that gift certificate today.
I wouldn't be surprised if I hear, oh, what did Akil Badu eat before his grand slam? Like, that's
Oh,
going to be a
my.
question that's going to come up.
He had a chicken sandwich.
Ooh, did he?
Yeah. It was
But-
all over
but
the
here's
news.
the thing,
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I
To
didn't
my
think
point,
so.
Maz,
Eats meat.
yesterday's questions on the Mazzawey scale would have been where? 8?
No.
7?
He's like a 2.
0.
To everybody
6.
other than you.
The last one maybe is a 7 or an 8.
Maz, give.
No, I'm not even Fish. Go get him.
Maz,
Get him. He's
give-
not even talking rational right now.
Give me one question on a 10 scale.
That would be easy.
No, 10 scale.
No,
I want
10.
like the
He
hard,
wants
like
the
a
hardest
Maz.
question Maz has.
I want
I
a
thought
10
10
scale
would be
Maz
easy.
question. 10 out of 10 Maz question.
All right.
It's kind of hard on the spot.
On the spot?
Not for Maz.
You can't give it to me.
You want to pick a team?
Your team, Yankees. Or wait, are you Yankees or Mets?
I'm both.
Well, Yankees then, Yankees.
Okay. Let's see.
In any era.
Who's
so
the
60s,
winningest-
70s, 80s, 2000s.
Who has the most postseason wins as a Yankee pitcher?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't know it, but I just want to hear your 10 out of 10 question. I
That's
just want
not.
to know
See,
your
I
10 out
wouldn't
of 10
say, isn't
question.
it, Andy Pettit?
It is.
But that's see
Really?
that.
See?
Yeah. So
Nice
to me,
job.
that's only a 5.
Right, but I just wanted to throw him across.
But that's not a Maz fight. See, you're
Okay,
see,
what
now
lying
the
to me
Let me
scale
ask
is
you this.
different.
Let me ask
You
you
lying
this.
to me now.
To my point, today's trivia will be more on that sort of question
I wanted
basis.
a 10 out of 10 and he gave me a 5.
You still didn't get it.
Fish.
I don't want to get it. I want to hear a
it.
10 out of 10 question.
Well, let me ask you this, Fish. Let's talk your sports. What is the average quad size for a rugby player in New Zealand?
Big. I don't know.
I didn't
15
know they
inches,
measured
16
that.
inches,
I
17
didn't even know what
Oh,
we're
inches.
I
talking
bet that
about.
they do. Are you kidding me?
Okay,
Those
Fish, here's a
quads-
soccer question
It's
for
like
you.
Saquon Barkley. Those quads are
In the
whoa,
old
giant.
NASL, the North American Soccer League, which
Yep.
was based right here in the United States.
Yes, sir.
What was the New York team's name?
The Cosmos.
Correct. Who was the most famous player from that team? Most famous player in soccer history.
Pele?
Yeah, Pele.
He
See,
played
those
there?
that's like
Yes.
I'd even get that. That's 5.
Did you hear what he just said? He played there?
Yeah, I didn't know he played there.
But Maz, the kid's 20 years
I
old.
know, but he knew the Cosmos.
But he's a soccer guru. Ask him, that's the whole. Anyways, the point being,
who
today's
played in the last
question
soccer
should be
ball?
able to get him.
We
Who
want you
played?
guys to win
Last
100
World Cup?
No, who played in the last soccer bowl in NASL history? I was there.
You were at that game?
Yeah.
Well, it's the New
Well,
York
it,
team.
it was in 20.
No, I bought tickets
It-
thinking the
Oh.
Cosmos would get in,
It,
but
it was
they didn't.
in 2017, right?
No. This was
Oh, this is way back
in
then.
1979.
Fish, if we're
okay.
talking
Oh,
trivia and
come
he's
on,
not in
you
the
know. All right.
pre-80s. All right.
Well, what we want you
It was a
guys to
Toronto
know
blizzard.
is that we want somebody to desperately walk away with this $100 gift card to Detroit Wing Company, given to you by our friends over at Hall Financial. So call in 313-552-6322, because if Tom Mazzawey's questions are too hard, I'm going to just keep spitting out clues. That's
We'll-
just
we'll
the way
help
it's
you.
going to be.
We'll help
That's
you.
the way it's going
But
to be.
you got to earn it. You got to earn the last one. You got to earn it.
That's right. You got to earn it by at least guessing my clues. All right, Tom. Let's get to your math.
You're not giving
sports.
your last clue out for the last question I have today. That'll give it away. You're not
Let me
giving a
see
clue.
what the question is.
You're not giving a clue away. All right, here's your sports update brought to you by my good friends, our good friends at MyBookie. We're here live in the MyBookie studios. Don't forget to use the promo code Woodward. and they will reward you. They will give you a 50% bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000. Second round of the 85th Masters continues from Augusta National. We go to DMAC. Hold on. Before we go to you at the desk, I need my update music, please. My update sounder to go to DMAC.
Ba-ding, ba-ding.
There it is.
Hi, this is Darren McCarty reporting from the 85th Masters in Augusta, Georgia. At the top of the leaderboard, Justin Rose in the bad back, -7.
He's back?
He is leading. Justin Rose is the leader at -7. He is done for the day. His 2 rounds are in. Mark Leishman shot, came back. Yesterday was there early. Fish gave us the update during the round. He bogeyed 3 in a row. He shot a 5 under today. He's 5 under, 2 back. Our boy Justin Thomas, one of the best rounds on the grounds today at 6 under. He puts him through 15 at 5 under, along with Tony Finau, and Tony Finau has the best round on the course, -7. Bernd Wiesberger at -4, along with another one of our guys, Webb Simpson, who is even for the day at -2. Just to let you know, out of the 4 guys that we have, Thomas is -5, Horschel's at +3, Berger at +3. That looks like they might get in on the number. Who knows? It
What's
might
the
be
cut, you
+2 or
think?
+3.
Yeah.
But so Webb and Justin Thomas looks like he's making his charge. So Justin Rose leading by 2 as of this point.
How about the champ?
The champ, yeah, like if I couldn't find him, I don't even know if he's going to make
man.
the DJ 1 over today, 3 over through 5.
Okay, so he's okay.
Okay,
yeah.
so
he can make a run still.
He's on the cut. Yes, he can make a cut. He has holes to play.
I had a chance to cash out today because you can cash out early if you want to quit a bet. I quit on Rory McIlroy. They gave me back 48 cents of my $5 bet.
Better than what you were going to get.
I was going to get nothing. I took the 48 cents. Anyway, we'll have plenty more with Fish and DMAC on the Masters. Tigers start a 3-game set in Cleveland tonight. They beat the Tribe 2 of 3 to start the season. They're 3-3 on the year.
Valley Sports Detroit, home of the Tigers.
7-10
Catch
from the
all
old
the
Jake
action
of
up close and
Progressive
personal.
Field. The Wings blown out in Nashville last night at home here, 7-1. That kind of broke our streak of, the Wings usually win game 2 of a 2-game set. Not this time. Preds take both games in Detroit, and it doesn't get any easier. They're in Carolina tonight. Tomorrow, make that. Bad news for the Wings, by the way. Their top trade chip, Bobby Ryan, out for the season. What are they calling it, a lower or an upper body injury?
I believe it's an upper body
It's an
shoulder.
upper body injury, shoulder. So he is out for the year, so they can't trade him. By the way, the NHL trade deadline Monday at 3. We'll have Paul Kukla from Kukla's Corner coming up. He will fill you all in. And the NHL hoping the Canucks can start playing again next week, but 25 players have tested positive for COVID. And how about the Avalanche today? One of their players tested positive. He has been tested. He is in isolation. They play the Ducks tonight. Maybe they play the Ducks tonight. And WrestleMania 37, Saturday and Sunday from Tampa Bay's Raymond James Stadium. And we go back, speaking of stadiums, I take you back fondly. 56 years ago today, the Houston Astrodome opened, dubbed the 8th wonder of the world, the first indoor air-conditioned stadium. It's still standing. No one's playing in it. I think they still do the rodeo in there, but they have not knocked it down. But it was special. At first, it had real grass growing. We're talking 1960, whatever the heck it is, 1965 or so. They had real grass, and then it was too hard to take care of, so they put the artificial turf in. But now, in Arizona and in other states, they do have the real grass that they have on wheels. They pull in and out of stadiums now. But look at the Astrodome, 56 years ago, way ahead of its time, dubbed the 8th wonder of the world. And we got to go back to 1993
Wait,
now.
I just want to say, could you imagine a building with air conditioner?
Isn't that something? A stadium with air conditioning. Indoor
building
stadium.
with air conditioner?
No, that's how they dubbed it. It was very big because people had
Matt doesn't
window.
get the jokes.
Yeah, I did. People had window air conditioners back then, if you remember.
No, we don't have air conditioner in here.
Oh, in here? Oh, that's right.
As I said, could you imagine a building with air conditioning?
During the show.
During
it's not
the
like
show.
we don't have.
During
It's
the
just
show. We have air conditioning.
It's as Maz has told everybody. It's like a jet engine airliner at McNamara.
So we have
It
to
does
shut
sound
it off.
heavy. 1983, 93, we take you back. Today is April the 9th. Was he the greatest athlete of all time? Jim Thorpe might say no, but Bo Jackson, 1 year after having his hip replaced, he has an artificial hip, takes 92 off, comes back in 93. White Sox pinch hit him, and he steps up to the plate.
That ball hit deep to right field. Tarnover goes back, looks up. You can't put it on the board. Yes! Bo Jackson in his first at bat in the 93 season.
How about that? I hate to do it against the Yankees, but I had to show you. The guy's amazing. Just what an amazing athlete. Just do it. Remember all those Bo commercials?
Oh yeah.
Oh, man, was he
all
good.
around athlete.
God, was he good.
like-
Vincent Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Right there.
And I still love the Heisman, around the Heisman, when they do all the old Heisman guys and do the commercials and you still see Bo. I love seeing the guys that we grew up with.
Nike had him doing every single thing in the world back then in those commercials.
Yep.
And, Bo did it all.
He did. He did it all. All right, guys. So there you have it. That was Maz's sports update. Of course, we're going to be getting you guys up to speed on everything that goes on with the 85th Masters as we get more information. So stick around. When we come back, the big hook. The governor is asking schools to voluntarily shut down for 2 weeks. How do you guys feel about this? Let us know on our social media at Woodward Sports. Don't go anywhere. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys. And ladies, this is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
Start a new career in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu. All right, everybody, welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from my bookie studios. The big hook today, I don't know if you guys were able to catch the press conference from Governor Whitmer this morning at 10 a.m. where she was asking schools to voluntarily shut down and restaurants to voluntarily shut down their indoor dining to keep things to outdoor dining and to carry out. Now, we've already learned that some schools have said school will proceed like normal and that they are not canceling any of the indoor sports as well. So it doesn't seem like this voluntary ask is really going to move the needle with any schools. I would find it very difficult for a school to say, hey, we're just going to shut down if we don't have to.
The MHSAA put out something today as well. It said, we hope this note finds you doing well. With the governor's remarks from earlier today, we wanted to provide an update. They say all final basketball games will be played today and tomorrow as scheduled. With the continued mitigation efforts that have been in place since January for winter sports, we will continue to play as safely as possible. So MHSAA say we're going full steam ahead here, at least with the playoffs, finish the championships, and I guess they'll go from there. I have two of my three play softball, and starting this week, they would have to be tested daily. And I'm talking about my little 8th grader, too, having that Q-tip stuffed up her nose every single day, and I really wasn't looking forward to that for her.
So it is going to be for sure the nose swabs. They're not doing the mouth swabs. Mouth swabs, I think, take up to 2 days, though, to get back.
Yeah, they want to do it pretty instantly, and I'm not positive about the nose swab, but I would guess that's how they would do it if they want to do a rapid test. But it looks like it's up to you, up to the individual, up to the school, up to the restaurant owner to shut it down or not.
Yep, so that is what the news is from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. I think that everybody's going to keep going, right? I mean,
Well,
nobody's
I
going
think
to
so.
voluntarily shut down.
Well, it's if they do shut down, it is voluntary. That's the
Right.
whole point to the matter. That for some people, I think that are looking for whatever guidance that it has. That we've all known that the governor's been on sort of a slippery slope in what she's allowed and what we've gone through for the past year and a bit, and so it's up to everybody else. But man, we've been in this thing for coming on 13,
Over a
14
year.
months, and some people don't have that option, I guess. I guess it's just the fact that it's as serious as they said. We talked about it because of the variants of the strain, and it's just whether the vaccines. You mentioned a point that you'd mentioned that she reached out for vaccines and was denied by the federal government.
Well, and she also said it in her press conference this morning that she was trying to request more vaccines, whether it be even just the Johnson & Johnson single dose one. And shortly after her press conference, I saw on the Detroit Free Press that the federal government has declined her request for more vaccinations. So it's not really getting anywhere.
But here's the I don't know. To me, it just is one of these things that, okay, so I get to be an adult and make, my decisions still. Does it mean that in 2 weeks, if it doesn't include, she's gonna, enact something that I'm not gonna get into the laws or anything like that, but because I don't really know. But the thing is that there's an answer, and the thing is that she's asking to voluntarily do this to try to do it. And so as human beings and as American citizens that are living in this country, you have that choice. So with what you do is your responsibility.
I really believe that students, honestly, should stay home for the next 2 weeks and do virtual learning. I'd say 75% of them probably were out in a different state, spring break. I know my kid was, and I don't know if it's right or wrong. Whatever it is, it is. Most of them have gone somewhere, so why not just stay home for 2 weeks and virtual learn? As far as athletics go, if you're outside, I say you could play. If you play golf, softball, lacrosse, whatever other sports go on right now, I think you should be able to play that as long as you're outdoors and
then
you're
just
careful.
limit your locker room exposure, right?
Yep.
Like you just don't have access to locker room. You
Exactly.
got to go home and shower. I don't disagree with that too much. There's a lot of common sense behind that. Like if you, and especially because here in Michigan, what it looks like from the reports is that it's predominantly in the high schools, not in like other states where it's in the elementary schools, but in the high schools. I feel that it's very easy for a high school kid to be able to do at-home learning as opposed to
They've done it most of the year.
Right, the younger, and a lot of high school kids want to do it. I mean, I know a lot of high school kids that love the virtual learning, but you're able to leave your kid home. It's not like you have a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old or 7-year-old, 8-year-old that needs a parent to stay home with them to do virtual learning. I feel that at a high school level, they can do that. So to me, I think it's high schoolers should have stayed home, or they should just imply like a common sense rule that says, if you left the state of Michigan, you need to stay home for 2 weeks.
Isolate
across
yourself.
the board. Even I feel that should be for employers. I feel that it should just be common sense and common courtesy. Especially if you went to a hot spot, you need to stay home for 2 weeks.
Well, we're in a hot spot.
I know, another hot spot, right? If you went to a different hot spot, you need to stay home for 2 weeks. But let us know your thoughts on that at Woodward Sports. Do you agree with the governor asking for people to voluntarily shut down, or do you think she should have made this mandatory, or do you think she just wasted her time, wasted all of our time on the press conference asking for a voluntary shutdown? I mean, anybody going to do this voluntary shutdown?
I doubt it.
I certainly don't see restaurants. She asked for restaurants to close indoor dining, keeping things outdoors, which it's beautiful in Michigan right now. I mean, we went to a restaurant, when was it? Wednesday, and nobody was sitting inside. We opted to sit inside because we like less crowds. So we sat inside, everybody was outside. So
if you give me a shot, a chance, and it's in the 60s or above, I'm outside.
go outside, right?
I'm outside.
Most people would want to go outside. Me too. So.
Hell, I sat outside. I had pizza here in Birmingham in February with Broadwell out in front of Brooklyn Pizza. We sat outside. You know, I don't give a damn. It's 20 degrees. He had the little heat lamp on. We're eating our pizza. I was okay.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I mean,
as long as I could go and go somewhere, and I'm happy.
Right.
Nice invite, Maz. Thanks.
You weren't. I didn't hook you up with Brooklyn Pizza that day. I've taken you elsewhere.
All right, guys, let us know your thoughts at Woodward Sports Network or give us a call, 313-552-6322. When we come back, we've got our guest Paul Kukla from Kukla's Corner joining us.
You like that name, don't you? You like Kukla's Corner.
Kukla?
Yeah.
Kukla, that's a cool name. It's like Kukla's Kool-Aid. I don't know.
No, he's got his perspective. He's gonna make you want to drink some Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
Hopefully, he's got some good Kool-Aid. Red Wings.
NHL Trade Deadline talk coming up with Kookie.
So don't go anywhere. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network. Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from MyBookie Studios. Joining us on the phone, we've got Paul Kukla from kuklascorner.com joining us, talking a little bit about the NHL. Welcome to the show, Paul.
Hello, everyone. My 3 favorite people in Detroit.
Oh!
Thanks, Kook.
Thanks, Kooks.
We love Paul now.
I call Paul. Paul's got a secret name. I call him Puck Throat, because he used to go undercover on my show. I never said who it was. And I always say, I got Puck Throat coming on. People would tune in right away. They wanted their hockey information, especially back in the dark days of the strike. Paulie, I'm going to start it off with
Lockout,
not strike.
Listen,
My bad.
thank you. Look at to see me was going to jump across the table, because we all know, any of us who went through, especially us, like me, 2 lockouts. The doors are locked. We did not quit. Thank you for that.
To a fan, it doesn't matter.
Thank
it's a strike. It's a lockout. We
You know
don't give
what?
a
I'm
damn.
happy you clarified that, because for years I thought it was you guys on strike.
No, lockout means they lock the doors and they won't let us work.
Yeah, but I
strike
thought it's because you
don't.
guys
No.
didn't want to go in, so
No,
they
no,
just said.
That's why a strike.
Yeah. No, I
is
get it.
Players, lockout is owners.
Owners.
Thanks, Kooks. You not only, as always, for the millionth time, corrected Maz and made him smarter, but Pilar learned something
me
too.
smarter too.
Whatever. All right, Paul. Red Wings. I mean, they had 11 unrestricted free agents. Couldn't wait for this day. Stevie Yzerman is going to go get us some draft picks. He's going to get us. He's going to steal everything. Now Bobby Ryan out for the year. #1 chip off the table.
Yep, and how about Bernier's performance last night?
I know. He got toasted.
Let's showcase him. Hopefully he starts again tomorrow and he plays well, because if not, some teams want him. But if he's playing like that, I don't think he's going to get traded.
Yeah, let's talk about that. How about, who are the guys most likely being moved? Obviously, I told these guys that when you look at the taxi squad and you look at some of the call-ups last week, that you might expect a move being made, but I always thought a guy like Mark Stahl or maybe a John Merrill, guys that have done exactly what they were supposed to do, come here, be professionals, teach the culture, and you watch it around. Is there somebody other than that, or what can they get for a guy like a Mark Stahl, or what should we as fans expect in return?
Darren, I would say the highest they're going to get is a 4th rounder for those 2 guys. Okay. Glendening, maybe a 3, but Glendenning's an unusual case. He's been the heart and soul of the Wings this year. His face-off percentage has dropped lately. He was leading the league in percentage of wins. But teams like that, as you know, and Maz knows, that teams look for a face-off specialist in the playoffs.
No doubt, Paul. And speaking of the goalie, Bernier, earlier you spoke that he played poorly last night. He came back from a bad injury. You got to throw that game out as far as I'm concerned. The Flyers, I know, were very interested in him. I saw this a couple of weeks ago. Do they still need a netminder?
They do, but the Flyers are, I think, 6 points out of the playoff race. and I don't think they're going to make it anyways. Other teams that have talked about Bernier have been Colorado, which definitely needs a backup goaltender, and even the Leafs have talked about Bernier.
How about the Leafs in that whole division of the Canadian teams? Are we going to finally maybe get a cup contender from the Canada side of the ledger?
Yeah, there's going to be one that's going to be in the Final Four, that's for sure, because that's the way it works out. One team from that division is automatically in the semis. So, yes, one's going to make it, but who? I have no idea. To me, Winnipeg is more of a solid team than the Leafs. The Leafs, I'm still a little bit shaky with their defense and their goaltending. Jack Campbell, who was their backup before Anderson got hurt, Jack Campbell's 10-0. Okay, but the man has injury problems. I don't reason. So if Campbell goes down for the playoffs, that means Anderson should be back, but we don't know what he's going to be like. So Bernier might be an option for the Leafs too.
Talking to Paul Kukla from Kukla's Corner. You can listen to him. Always a guru insider. Maz's go-to on a lot of things. How about around the rest of the league? Is there, obviously guys like Taylor Hall in Buffalo, high-profile guy. Is there anybody on your radar or somebody you expected to be moved, or a team that's looking to make a move that will put them over the top?
Yeah, well, Taylor Hall has been sitting out, for precautionary reasons, so he doesn't get hurt. Today I hear Boston's interested in him, and that would be a big pickup for them. Boston needs some scoring, but is Taylor Hall going to score? I mean, he's got one goal since opening night. He's a great player. I just think he's in the wrong team this season. That's why he signed 1 year, but he was going to go ahead and show people how well he played, but it's been a bad year for him. But Boston's interested. Boston, if they get Taylor Hall, will be a force, as would any other team that picked him up. I think he'd play much, much better with the team that he's going to. Plus, he's a UFA, and he's willing to sign a deal if he gets traded, which is a real important factor. If you can sign a player before July 1st, that's a bonus for the team that trades for him. But Taylor Hall is the number one guy right now.
Paulie, I'll tell you a team that improved themselves already. It's the Islanders, and I can't believe they actually made a deal with the Devils. I mean, really, the Islanders and the Devils, my two favorites, besides the Wings, of course, making a deal? That just doesn't happen. Palmieri and Zajac now go to New York. You got Barry Trotz behind the bench. They were so close last year. I think they could win it all, to be perfectly frank.
Yep, I agree with you, Tom. They're going to be a tough team to beat. And with the way Trotz coaches, that team's going to be in lockdown once the playoffs start.
See, if you take a look at that, and obviously the New York Islanders, who their general manager, Lou Lamoriello, who used to be the Devils' general manager through all their times, actually just passed Glenn Sather in the most hockey victories for a general manager. So that goes into, if people are wondering what that relationship, well, whoever it is, it's sort of like Steve Yzerman and Ken Holland in Edmonton. That's why, for me, if what's interesting, and I'm going to go back to Luke Glendening, right? Because obviously the intangible of not only the way that he can play up and down the lineup, but penalty killing and faceoffs and being that shutdown guy. He's a guy that that I know is an integral part in that dressing room and the culture and the building towards what this Detroit team has in the future. The one thing that I would be worried about is trading Luke Glendening and on the assumption that he'd want to resign here, being a free agent and going as a rental player and stuff like that. So that's why it would sort of make sense to me. But I think that's one of the things is weighing the options. Out of these 11 guys that Maz mentioned, Paul, how many do you legitimately expect to be moved from this Detroit roster?
Yep, I'm not expecting more than 3 players to be gone by 3 p.m. on Monday. I just don't think, we all know that there's a big buildup for names. Everyone's after a name. Everyone's after the name. Sometimes they don't move. Bobby Ryan, for example, of course, can't move now. Bernier, I think he's on the downside. But I agree with you, Darren, when you said Stahl. I think Stahl is the type of defenseman that people are looking for. Stay-at-home defenseman, shot blocker, the type of guy you want in the playoffs.
Paul, there's 18 teams that cannot make a deal, or they have to move a lot of stuff. They have less than $1 million on their salary cap. Tampa Bay can't even move anybody. They have no room to move. I think there's 3 other teams as well. But
wait, Tommy. Stamkos got hurt last night. He's being reevaluated, and they'll know more tomorrow. If he goes on LTIR, there comes the money, and you know who's coming back once the playoffs start. So there'll be Stamkos if he goes on LTIR, which is long-term injury reserve, and number 86 for Tampa too.
Kucherov. So they get their deadly duo back at the same time.
Right.
But again, it goes to...
Islanders will beat them.
But it goes to the way you have to. It's not the old school, like, you like this guy, you like that guy, let's trade him. The money's got to work out. This and that's got to work out. Injuries have to work out. There's so much more going on to it. Let's move on to what's going on in Vancouver. 22 of the 25 players, or 22 of them, the players of the 25 in the organization. And now Maz just reported that Colorado came down with it. What do you think, Paul, is the probability of maybe the NHL really going to a bubble for the playoffs? Do you think that's legitimate?
They're talking more and more about it, Darren. I think it's going to happen. Vancouver had some good news today. Their GM, Jim Benning, and their team physician did a press conference and said all the people are showing signs of recovery, which is a good thing.
Right.
So they'll probably start practice next week and start playing too. But, in Canada, it's a little bit different than it here in the States. Not everyone's open to getting a vaccine or can get it. Here in the U.S., we're reading more and more teams are getting their vaccines. In Canada, it's not the case. They're real strict with who gets it and who doesn't get it. And it seems like the senior citizens and the first-line workers are first in line in Canada.
Hey, cool.
Back to your question, they are going to a bubble, I believe.
Okay.
We're just not going to hear it yet. But Bill Daly has already mentioned it a couple of days ago. They're in talks about I think it's going to happen.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pilar.
I would say, do you think that the league will launch some kind of investigation as to why the Canucks had such a big outbreak? Why just their team?
Well, you know what? The team physician came out and said today that the person that got it did not break any protocols. They just got it. It happens.
And it just ran rampant.
Right. It went through, and it's a variant of the COVID-19. It's not the real one. I think it's the Brazilian.
Yeah.
It's an offshoot of COVID.
Right, which all the variants are the ones that spread much easier. Right, okay. Well, that's good to know that it was a variant and not the original COVID-19, which would explain why it just spread like a wildfire there in that team.
Hey, Paulie, before we let you go, how far, Darren always tells me just be quiet and take my time. Everything is going to happen for a reason. You're like me, I think, more. How far away are the Red Wings from being the Red Wings again?
Well,
sorry, Mac.
I'm going to tell you by the comments I get, and I get quite a few comments from and these fans that I have are true fans, and they know the game. They still believe in as we refer to it as the Yzer plan. So we're going to go with him, and we're trusting whatever Yzerman does is the right. Of course, they wanted to see the younger players play earlier this season. But Stevie's got a plan, and we're sticking to it.
Absolutely. Paul, here's the simple math. I mean, it's as simple as possible. It took them 8 years in Tampa, so I'm going to say it's going to take 4 or 5 here. And this is like year one. So, I mean, last year didn't count. This is year one. And he knows what he's doing. Like, for the simple fact to tell people is you look at a guy that is going to be an integral part, and it's a Giovanni Smith. right? He's down in the minors not because he's punished. No, it's my favorite guy, Eazy, not yours. Because he's not being punished. It's so he learns how to kill penalties and plays in all these situations. So as long as the people understand that the wiser plan and you trust the guy making the decisions, it's the same thing as is Blashill the right coach? Yes, because Yzerman says he is for right now. When it's time to question Yzerman, I'll be the first one to question him, but now is not it. So that's what you tell Maz, just get back in this hole for another couple of years. Need your help, Paulie.
Yeah, Maz, it's going to be a couple years. I'd say when Larkin turns, what is he, 20? When he's 28 or 29, the Wings will be right there.
All right, man. We appreciate you, Paulie, as always. Thanks for coming on with us today.
Yep, you can check out Paul Kukla's work over at kuklascorner.com. Great stuff on his website. So, Paul, thanks so much for joining us here on The Hook. When we come back, it will be time for us to play Get Home with Hall Financial Baseball Trivia. Tom Mazzawey said that these questions are going to be a little bit easier, so get on the phone. Start dialing up 313-552-6322. You're tuning into The Hook, and we will be right back.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Hey guys, D-Mac here for 8 Mile Vodka, not the stuff on the inside. But I think as I love you guys and care about you, this is my don't tell me what, tell me who. George, Mikey, all the guys behind this beautiful stuff inside. But in case the weather's getting nice and you want to indulge in 8 Mile Vodka, you know, it's distilled in single 90-liter batches, optimal quality control and care. Carbon filtered aerated bottle at the perfect time to produce a subtle taste with smooth finish, and a character all its own. It's actually the second bottle. Pilar drank the whole first bottle we had yesterday. That's how smooth it goes down. Exceptional premium vodka, chilled or straight out of the bottle like Pilar enjoys it. You can have it. You can go to any bar after 8 Mile Vodka or pick one up at Myers. And if you do drink responsibly like Pilar did with her 2 friends.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from MyBookie Studios. It is Friday, April 9th. I'm Pilar Lastra. To my left, we've got D-Mac. To my right, we've got Tom Mazzawey. We've got Fish in the fishbowl. Is that a new one? Is that a new one?
That's my Mills Lane, my former boxing
no,
referee.
that was a steel sign to the lemon drops. Are you kidding me? I picked those signs off back in the day.
Last week it was the wink. This week
I got the wink going, too.
He's got them all.
Got it all.
Yeah. Of course, we've got Eazy behind the glass and Luke manning all of our social media at Woodward Sports. Thank you guys so much for keeping us in line. All right, so it is time for us to play our favorite trivia. Get home with Hall Financial Baseball Trivia. Give us a call, 313-552-6322.
Look at that diamond. It's beautiful.
All right, let's get you guys home. All right, Fish, who do we have?
We have Mike from Chesterfield.
Oh, a new
we
victim.
got a new one.
A new victim.
Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good, man.
Good. Thanks for calling.
Thanks for playing. Are you a baseball fan?
Appreciate it. I am a baseball fan.
Awesome. All right, here we go.
Are you a Tigers fan?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you a Tigers fan?
Oh, of course. I
Okay.
would thrown out of the city if I wasn't, right?
Absolutely.
All right. We're making sure, because that's what these trivia questions are.
All right, we're going to ask you one question at a time. You advance each base till you get home. So 4 questions, you get yourself a $100 gift card to Detroit Wing Company. Here's question number 1 to Mike in Chesterfield. How many World Series have the Tigers won? How many World Series have the Tigers won? I'll give you a hint. The Yankees won 27. How many did the Tigers? How many did the Tigers win?
How is that a hint?
It's a hint because, you know.
No.
Sure
Here's
it
a
is.
better hint. This is what you
no,
say.
That's a terrible hint.
Yeah, this
Weird
is.
flex,
Wait
but
a minute.
okay.
Let him answer. Go ahead.
4.
Yes.
4 is right. Let's do that
right.
again. Turn that up again.
How
Fish.
hard do you think that question was?
Thank you. Not that
Easy
high.
if you're a Tigers fan.
Yeah,
You grow
not that high. Not that high.
No.
Okay, question number 2 is coming to you from Pilar.
Okay, Miguel Cabrera became the third Tiger to hit 350 home runs. Who are the other two?
So who are the first 2 Tigers to hit at least 300 home runs?
No.
It said
So,
350.
350.
LK line was the first.
Yes.
Was one of them.
That's one. Who was the second?
And I was watching the game when this happened. They were talking about it, and for some reason I want to say Ty Cobb, but I know it's not Ty Cobb.
No, it's not him. I can give you a
This
hint
guy
if you
is
need
money.
it. I can give you a hint if you need it.
This guy, money.
Okay, I'll take
money. Another word for money.
The other hint I can give you in the '68 World Series against Bob Gibson.
Is money the hint?
Yeah.
Yes.
Norm Cash.
Yes. Woo!
I was going to say in the '68 World Series, he came up to bat against Bob Gibson with a table leg, as a joke.
Listen,
I would have said he's the original 25.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
That's a good one.
Listen,
Only Tiger
Mike,
fans would know
anything that comes out of my mouth is going to be a hint. Okay?
Okay, sounds good. Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you.
Ready for question number 3.
Let's get you to third base.
All right. Which major
Never
league?
been there in my life.
I've only been there a couple times
Well,
myself.
that's why you got Maz
3
to
times.
direct you. Which major
For your
league
3
baseball?
daughters.
Which major league baseball team has the longest World Series drought?
Cleveland.
Yes.
Yes, sir. There's the third one.
Oh my goodness, we're so
Mike,
close.
you are rocking, baby.
You're
yes.
on your way home.
I love
That's
baseball fans.
That is not a clue though for this next one.
The Cleveland Indians last won the World Series in 1948, everyone. And this is their final year to have a chance to win it as the Indians. Of course, next year they'll be something else. Maybe the Spiders, the old original Cleveland Spiders. So we'll see.
Cleveland baseball team.
The Cleveland baseball team. I hate that kind of name, the Washington football team. Whatever. Are you ready, Mike, to take it home?
I'm going to try.
All right. If you get this one right, you win a $100 gift card to Detroit Wing Company. Here we go. Keeping in the World Series. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Do not say anything. Which MLB team has lost the most World Series? Which major league team has lost the
think about
most?
appearances. So obviously, the Yankees have appeared a ton, but they've also won a ton. They haven't lost a lot.
Yeah, they have.
Shut. You said leave them alone.
Well, no, but the Yankees aren't the answer.
LA. Okay, just because I know that Yankees have won so many, Boston's appeared quite a bit too. But
Go west, young man.
Yeah.
Go west. All right, I'm gonna go with LA.
There you go. We got our first winner, and you're welcome. I can't handle all this tomfoolery, but you, sir, will enjoy Detroit Wing Company
Nice job,
$100 gift certificate.
go.
Oh, hey, listen.
That's right.
It's not the way Maz wanted it, but this is to me is if it's a 5 on the Maz scale. But this was. Would you say that it was fair?
I
Hard enough, but fair?
wussified it.
I say Maz gave it away. This was a Friday giveaway, but you earned it, my friend.
I think he earned it.
Nice
Thank
going,
you
Mike.
guys.
Yes.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
And Mike, you got any shout-outs? You want to say hi to anybody?
I mean, I want to say I appreciate what you guys are doing. It's great to see you guys getting involved in the city, and just trying to put Detroit on the sports map. It's I mean, not that we haven't been there, but from like a personal standpoint, it's cool to see. So I just want to say thank you to you guys at Woodward Sports.
Well, here's
and yeah.
No, here's the thing, Mike. Stay on the line.
Mike.
Make sure you get all your information, all that stuff. But we can't wait to meet you in person when we're out and about at the tailgates and all the different things are coming up, because that's what this station is really about. So in the meantime, thank you for calling in. Thanks for playing, and we look forward to meeting you in person, either at a Tiger, Lion, Red Wing, or Pistons game.
Nice job, Mike.
All right, thank you.
Good job. First
All right,
winner,
thank you,
guys.
guys.
Hey, Mike. At least you got to say your full name so everyone knows who you are.
No, maybe he's at work. Oh, okay, Mike.
I'm driving. Well, I'm driving home from work, but last name Mike Whitten is my name.
Mike Whitten.
Congratulations, Mike Whitten. All right, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
Stick around. We're going to get your information.
I should have asked him another question.
Winner. Why?
Because his name is Mark Whitten. I should have said
it's Mike.
Mike Whitten.
It's Mike.
I should have said. Well, I just gave the clue away. I was going to say
who had 4
name
home runs in the game for whatever like that back in the day. Yeah, Mark Whitten.
Mark Whitten, big hit, and Mark.
You know what? Why don't you use that question for Monday, and people that are watching now can take the clue and
nice job,
we'll
Mike.
help them out. All right, Mike.
Fish will put you on hold.
Yep. Thank you. All right, that was fun. It's so much more fun when somebody wins.
You like that, huh?
I do. I like
but
it when
they can't
people
win every time.
Why not?
Because you have to have balance for Maz. Because Maz doesn't want to get. They have to earn it. Do you see? Because here, do you know? Let me give you a little intricacy behind why that was an acceptable way for him to win. Because did you hear that he said L.A. in his thing?
He did. He said
so wait. So do you got to understand? This is our relationship where I know with Maz that because. We were going to give this away no matter what, right? So the thing was that he actually answered it, and you just send him back there that way. So that's why Maz is acceptable, and he's going to be happy that Mike, he deserved it.
Mike earned it. He's a baseball fan. He's driving. You know he's not looking it up.
Just
I
trying
like
to
that.
keep peace around.
I dig that.
I know you did. He deserved to win.
We've got yesterday's caller, Pete, joining us. Hey, Pete, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. I knew all the answers.
Pete.
Gosh,
hey.
Call in on Monday.
Pete's sake.
You know what?
Call in on Monday.
There must be something wrong with the fish tank then. I mean, I don't know. He
There
must be running
leak.
things a little bit
There
differently.
might be a leak, man. Someone might be
Leaking the
leaking these
fish tank.
answers. Who's leaking these answers?
I want to do a shout out to my wife. She's a nurse over at St. John Hospital.
What's her name?
Yes.
Rose.
Rose, here's a shout out from the hook. Thank you for all you do
right,
and all the
Rose.
rest of your front
The
line
last name is Vitale, not Vital. Vitale.
Pete and Rose Vitale. Love it, man.
Love it. They from your neighborhood?
All right.
I think they are. You guys from Hoboken, New Jersey?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's just down the road.
No, there is a Vitale, I think, in New York as well.
Oh, God, yes. There's a ton of them.
Yeah, a ton of them.
Maz knows all your cousins.
Hey, thanks for calling, Pete.
Thanks so much
Thanks
for calling.
again, Pete.
Thanks so much to your wife,
Rose.
who's Rose, who's doing great work for our community. So our hats off to her, my friends. All right, we don't even need to take a break. Let's go straight into some NFL talk. You guys are we taking a quick break here?
No.
Okay, we don't need to regroup. Let's talk a little bit about the remaining NFL free agents. Richard Sherman, Antonio Brown, Melvin Ingram, Alex Smith. Those are really Justin Houston. Those are really the big ones that stick out to me. Clowney is still available. Richard Sherman, do you think people are concerned about his injury, his age? He's got to find a home.
He'll go to a winner.
Crying out loud, let's take him here. I would love to have.
I think
Richard
he'll go back
Sherman.
to San Francisco,
He don't wanna
personally.
play here.
I think
But
he'll play.
he's not
He's-
into
I think
building
he's gonna
something.
go.
He's into waiting to see
Winning
which
now.
team he's going to go to. He's sitting back. He's a cagey veteran. Like most of these guys that aren't, maybe they're begging for a job, but it's more they're going to wait and see how things, the draft goes.
The guy
if
that
they've
I'm looking
waited
at-
this long, they're going to wait till after the draft to see who's positioned this, who went where, who got traded, whatever, where the money is. Richard Sherman, I don't think he's going to play for somebody established, not
Right.
Alex Smith.
build.
That's the name that's out there. To me, I think he.
For what?
To be signed by somebody.
Free
He's
agent.
still a free agent.
Someone
I thought you
that's
meant
still-
Detroit.
No, Alex
No.
Smith. Alex Smith's still out there. People need quarterbacks. I don't know. I think the Jets can maybe use him, but I'm not sure if he wants to go there and maybe teach Zach Wilson the ropes. There are other teams that need a quarterback as well.
Right.
And
Well, don't you think
Alex
with the,
Smith,
Plenty
man, is a
other
winner.
teams.
He's a winner.
don't you think with the
I would-
list put that list up there again, Easy?
I would love to
with these
see-
guys, they're all guys that more of established, more of whatever else that they're
Right.
not jumping at offers or whatever. They have a few in mind and waiting to see how it played out. The big one to me is Schwartz, who's the offensive lineman guy
Yeah.
that was one of the ones that got hurt before
For the Chiefs.
Yeah, for the Chiefs. So the thing, my question is either what's wrong with them, or it's too much money because they've been in the league too long.
I think it's the money question, is the money issue more than anything. I think that some people are a little concerned about Richard Sherman, his injuries, but listen, it's Richard Sherman. If I don't care about his age, I don't care about his previous injuries. If anything, you're gonna get locker room knowledge.
Big time leader.
With this guy, absolutely, you're gonna get a real leader with him. Antonio Brown, look, he's gonna resign with.
Do we have one?
With Tampa Bay.
Who the hell wants him?
Tampa Bay. I feel that he's got to be with Tom Brady because Tom Brady is the only Antonio Brown whisperer. He's the only guy that can keep him out of trouble.
Is he still living with Brady and his wife?
No, I don't think he's still living.
He's not out in the garage?
No, I don't think so. I think he's got his own pad.
Okay. Hopefully he won't toss any furniture out, any windows at anybody.
No, I mean, you would expect.
But it's a success story, I feel like, for both Antonio Brown and Tom Brady. I feel that Tom Brady has been wanting to take in that problem child for quite some time. He did it with Randy Moss. He did it with Josh Gordon. His connection with Randy Moss was incredible. The problem was Randy Moss says a couple things, and it's just against Bill Belichick's theory, and so he's gone. But he was so close to really going far with Randy Moss. And then Josh Gordon, he tried. You could tell he really, really did try. And what was great about his connection with Josh Gordon is I feel like what Josh Gordon wanted was that love, and he wanted to feel accepted. And when you saw...
I think he just wanted to smoke.
Of course, that's what he wanted to do. But when you saw Tom Brady go up to him and just give Josh Gordon a hug, I feel that that's what...
Russell Wilson was hugging him.
No, but it was like a Tom Brady hug. Like, hey, you know what I mean? Yeah. When your dad hugs you and says, you got this. But it just didn't work out. Finally, he pushes and pushes for Antonio Brown. Doesn't work out the first time in New England. Certainly does work out in Tampa Bay. So I feel that Antonio Brown's not going to go anywhere other than back to Tampa Bay for cheap.
I mean, I don't see anybody on that list that you really need around here. So, you know, with what we got going on.
We're rebuilding, you know.
So, right, that's it. These are established guys that get paid.
Alex Smith, I feel a great home for him would actually be in New England. Could you imagine Alex Smith with Bill Belichick? That would be nice.
Yeah, I like him with the Jets, working with Zach Wilson, let Alex Smith show how to be the professional. And then the kid
I think that's a slam dunk.
The kid could get in first 3 games of the year. Like, it's not that, but I think Alex Smith, because of what he's went through, and how could you not to go through all those surgeries and not to want to play. So that's the thing. I think that when it comes to Alex Smith, that's what he wants. He thinks he wants to start, where more teams think that he want to build their quarterback of the future.
Right. I kind of like what Maz was saying about Alex Smith to the Jets. It makes perfect sense. He's a guy who's been through tons of teams, been to playoffs. He's been hurt and come back. He has almost every bit of experience, you know, in the league other than winning a championship to, I guess, help Zach Wilson set his foot in his career on the right path.
He could have won a Super Bowl had he not gotten hurt. That's where Kaepernick came in, and San Francisco winds up going, and they play the Har Bowl. And, of course, San Francisco comes up short against the Ravens. Hell of a game, though. Took a blackout to get him back in it.
Great
But it was a hell of a game, hell of a finish.
I do have a question, though, because the Lions are a team in need of a receiver. And Antonio Brown is going to be cheap because of, you know, his history and whatnot. Obviously, he's still on the market. You think there's no turnaround in his attitude, nothing like that, to give him a second chance here? Or
no way.
No?
Jared Goff is not going to be the guy that can control him.
The Lions don't want guys like that.
Yeah, I was saying we don't need guys like that. I think that...
Well, that was the last regime. This regime, maybe don't like him.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
The perfect home for Antonio Brown is where he is now. The chemistry between him, the trust between him and Tom Brady needs to just stay. And I think that they're going to get him for cheap. And that's, you know, but who cares? He went for cheap last year and he got a Super Bowl ring.
And he caught a touchdown.
Yeah.
I think he still finished like the top third of the league in stats too. The other guy, real quick, I'm sorry too. I just wanted to bring this up because he's a former player of Anthony Lynn. Is Melvin Ingram?
Oh, he's terrific.
The edge rusher there.
Well, would he come? We could use him, but would he come? That's the. I mean, he's terrific. I'd love to have him. He was a beast.
Me too, man. That's
Again, guys, it's payday, it's money, it's just, and a lot of these guys, because they're older, let's wait to see after the draft plays
after the draft. So Let us know your thoughts. Any free agents out there that you would like to see in a Lions uniform, or any guys that you definitely would not like to see in a Lions uniform. Let us know at Woodward Sports, or give us a call, 313-552-6322. When we come back, we have still got so much more show left. We've got the Mazda Sports Update, of course, and then we've also got...
We're going to hear from Dan Campbell.
Oh, that's right. We do have that interview as well. So do not go anywhere. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Morning, Art. Morning, D-Mac.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from MyBookie Studios. It is Friday, April 9th. I'm Pilar Lastra. To my left, we've got D-Mac. To my right, we've got Maz. Fish in the fishbowl, Eazy behind the glass, and our boy Luke manning all of our social media at Woodward Sports.
Got to get Luke a camera.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Luke said
Too
no.
live Luke cam.
There we go.
Here comes Luke.
There he is.
Too live
Too live
Luke
Luke
cam.
in the house.
There you go.
We're going to get him a stick mic, too. We'll get him one of those wireless mics. We got one. We just got to hook it up.
There you go. All right, Maz, let's get to your sports update, my friend.
I will, as soon as I stop that music. All right. Welcome in, everybody. It's another update here at the 4 o'clock hour on The Hook on Woodward Sports. Of course, brought to you by the good people at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Check them out. Use that promo code Woodward and get that free money. They'll match half your deposit up to $1,000, so get on it. All right, Fish, let's hear the horn. I'm going to a Masters update.
Bring, bring.
There you go. A little delayed, but we got it. And we go over to the sports desk on hole 16. We go to Darren McCarty. Darren, what's happening on the 85th
live
Masters?
from the 85th Masters in Augusta, Georgia. Justin Rose is still your leader at 7 under. Mark Leishman, and last week's winner also too has a green jacket. Jordan Spieth, his game, he's moved up to 5 under, 4 under on the day.
Look out.
2, 3, 4, 5 guys at 4 under, including Justin Thomas, Tony Finau, Brent Wiesberger, Siwoo Kim, and Brian Harmon. As far as we go, our guy, Webb Simpson, isn't having the greatest of days because he's 3 over, so 1 over. Actually, Justin Thomas is our biggest bet, so sitting there at 4 under, 3 back, but a lot of golf still to be played. Half the guys on the course. Little update on the defending champion Dustin. What's that? The defending champion Dustin Johnson, who has been battling, like I told you before, is now 2 over. Or no, actually, he's 2 over for the day. 4 over, looking like he is not gonna be there for the weekend. But as Maz said, he does have holes.
I should cash that ticket
play.
in there. I think they're giving me 80 cents on that one.
Yes,
Should
and
I cash that one in?
You had a pretty good stat. I don't want to steal it from you,
No,
but
go ahead.
Justin Thomas odds at the beginning of the week were
80 to 1.
80 to 1. I missed that one, guys, because I thought the back was going to lay out. Now I'm still saying that, but I said we didn't pick him because of the back.
$5 gets you 400.
5 get you 4.
That would have been good. Tigers start a 3-game set in Cleveland tonight. You can bet on them or you can bet on the Indians. They beat the Tribe 2 out of 3 to start the season. Julio Teheran, his second start as a Tiger against Zach Plesac, who I think could be a very dominant pitcher in the American League.
Valley Sports Detroit, home of the
Indian
Tigers.
bullpen and lineup is stacked. They got great pitching arms there. 7-10 for the first pitch. Red Wings, they lost last night. They'll be out for today. They got the day off. They'll play in Carolina tomorrow. They lost Bobby Ryan for the season, probably their top trade chip. And tomorrow, Monday, make that at 3 o'clock, the NHL Trade Deadline. And we had Paul Kukla on. Make sure you check out kuklascorner.com for all your NHL stuff. Pistons over the Kings last night. Corey Joseph, he led him with 24, double-double for Big Stu. And Killian Hayes added 11. Pistons in Portland tomorrow against the Blazers. WrestleMania 37 this weekend in Tampa Bay. On this day in sports, we take you back. Well, we wish a happy birthday, a 57th birthday, to D-Mac's favorite player of all time.
Oh, yeah?
The Tocket Rocket.
Nice.
Rick Tocket.
There he is. That's my guy. 57, did you say?
57 years old.
All right. Yeah, my hero's
Thanks to Dink for giving me that update.
Did he? Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dick. Dick, speaking of that, the old school Belleville Bulls.
Look at that.
This is my junior team.
Darren Dink Reynolds. Thank you for that.
If you see the back of it, that's because they were...
1981 to 2015.
They are now in Hamilton, but my boy Dink, Darren Reynolds, who you're talking about, is my high school buddy from Belleville, where I went to school.
He's the man.
So him and Tom Killenbeck, we still keep in touch and stuff. So he made sure
He always makes sure I'm on the ball, make sure I don't miss anything.
Nice job, Dink. Way to keep Maz honest.
And my favorite show of all time, The Sopranos. I take you back 21 years ago tonight. It was a Sunday night watching HBO, and they found Big Puss. And he met his match.
Is he gonna get killed?
I'm afraid so.
Not in the face,
Really?
okay?
He said not in the face.
Give me that.
They're gonna kill him. He knows he's gonna die. This is
Yeah,
terrible.
dude, you haven't watched
my
Sopranos?
No, I don't watch
He
stuff like
deserves
this.
it. He's a rat.
Listen.
I'm getting anxiety.
To all of us. Yeah. Started to feel it out too. My inner rib balance is off.
I thought maybe they poisoned him.
No.
Oh, this is terrible. I can't listen.
What? Jesus Christ. I gotta sit down.
Oh,
I feel like
Boy, it's just a movie. It's not real life.
Yeah, it is.
I get anxiety.
With the weights.
They already shot him.
Yeah, they didn't show. We did.
shot
Maz is. You think Maz was going to let you see him get shot?
You never know. I can't watch stuff
him
like
in
that.
the Atlantic, though. They did wrap him up and they put him in the Atlantic to rest.
That's awful.
Yeah, he went to the bottom.
Oh, but they did shoot him. They didn't drown him.
Oh, no, they shot him.
Wow.
They shot him.
In the face, or did they give him the dignity of
No,
not
they,
in the
they
face?
gave him the dignity. Not that it mattered. No one was going to see him again anyway. Never take
That's
sides
awful.
against the
I can't
family.
watch stuff like that. I don't
The
know
Sopranos,
why. I
the
can't watch any
greatest
of them.
series in television history.
Turns
Please,
my stomach.
I'm sorry if I spoiled it for you in that season. I really
Wait, what
appreciate-
year did that come out?
Well, it was 21 years ago.
Okay, well, you know what? There's no spoiler alert then, all right? If you haven't seen it or if you like whatever like that, yes. He got
Now,
what he
every time I
deserved.
go to New Jersey, I go to Holston's. Holston's is where Tony Soprano met his ending, where the screen went to black at the end of The Sopranos. We don't know if he got shot and died, but we kind of figured that's where it is. I always sit in Tony's booth. They still have the record player there. You put the quarter in. You pick your song. He picked "Don't Stop Believin'" by Journey. It was just a phenomenal, and I go there at least once a year. Great food, by the way. Get the onion rings.
Every time I watch any kind of a mob movie or series, which is very, very few and far in between, typically only because my husband will have it on and he refuses to change the channel, I don't get attached to any character. I just tell myself they're all going to die. Every single one of them is going to die. It's just the way it's going to happen. And then it makes it easier to watch. But I have to turn my head. I don't like watching that stuff. Fish, what do you have for us?
We have Kevin from Muskegon on the line.
Oh,
you want
hi.
to talk to him, and then we'll get to our guest?
Of course. Kevin, welcome to the show.
What's up? I just wanted to talk Lions free agency. Of course, this will be after the draft, and depending on if we got Sewell or not, but a guy that I think we could bring in for relatively cheap money would be a former first overall pick, Eric Fisher, who we could sign for like 3 or 4 years because his first year he's not playing. He's recovering from that Achilles. And also, D-Mac, yes, you can bet on WrestleMania on my bookie.
Oh, you can? All right. Well, there you
There
go.
you go.
I appreciate
You got the script?
Appreciate the update.
You got the script?
And we're going to get into that later on with my boy Dennis, our boy Dennis Farrel,
That's right.
Talking WrestleMania 37 and stuff
All right, good
like
show,
that.
guys.
Thanks,
All right,
Kevin.
appreciate
Thanks,
it, Kevin. And to your point, like Eric Fisher being a Michigan guy,
Yep,
Western
Central Michigan.
or Central Michigan. I always mix those up, which people probably hate me. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm Canadian.
I mess it up with AB too.
But the whole
He's a Michigan
thing
guy, too.
is that are you willing? Is it? You're going to have to sit out the year. That's one that is intriguing to see how they want, because if you're preparing for the future, give him the year off. You're going to spend. Think about the money that Lai, whoever the last guy they just released, the offensive guy from Philly that they paid $1 million, tons of millions to. You have a guy you sign, you have him sit out, but you have a stalwart like that's got a few years left. That's not bad thinking, Kev.
It is.
I like that one.
We'll have to see how it plays out. But thanks for the. I'll check that out on mybookie.ag.
I like it. All right, let's get to this clip that we have of Lions coach Dan Campbell speaking to Ford workers. Do we have that clip?
Well, we're going to hold off on it now, because I think he's on. I think Fish is on the hotline with our next guest that's coming on. So we'll
perfect.
Take a quick break.
All right, we're going to take a quick
break. We'll get to
and
Dan
then
Campbell.
When
promise.
we come back, we've got Joe Pompliano from ReadHuddleUp.com talking about this President Reagan scandal that most people didn't even hear about back in 1983 in Augusta with the Augusta hostage. I mean, this is the first I ever heard about it, so I'm excited to have Joe on the phone. So don't go anywhere. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Hey guys, it's Maz from MyBookie. It's time to start winning free money with MyBookie. Don't forget to use the promo code Woodward, because if you do, they'll match your first deposit halfway up to $1,000. That's free cash credited right to your account. Do what you want with it. The best part, you always have access on the phone or computer. Just go to mybookie.ag and use the promo code Woodward and get that free money. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from MyBookie Studios. It is Friday, April 9th. Make sure that you are joining in on all of our conversations on our social media at Woodward Sports. And, of course, give us a call. We are loving having the phone lines open, 313-552-6322. Joining us right now on The Hook, we've got our next guest, Joe Pompliano from ReadHuddleUp.com. Joe, welcome to the show.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man. Great story. I read it the other day. Matter of fact, our boss here, Wicked Awesome, Chad Johnson, actually tipped me off to this story. And I don't want to even steal any of your thunder, because it's Masters Week. And you have a story about Augusta. No, it wasn't during the Masters, but it was during October of 1983 with Ronald Reagan as the president. And I'll let you take it from there. Set it all up and tell this wonderful tale. It's I don't know about wonderful, but it was a great story.
Yeah. So just for a little background, right? I talk about the business and money behind sports. And I think one of the things that people are fascinated with is Augusta National Golf Club, right? And I think the Masters being played there for over 80 years now has a lot to do with that. And it's brought a bunch of awesome and kind of historic stories to go with it and moments. But this was kind of bringing light to one that maybe wasn't so cool as you alluded to, but it was also really unknown, right? So the gist of it, right, is that Ronald Reagan, he was obviously a successful actor, and then he was the governor of California for a period of time, and he was elected as president. I think he was the 40th president, elected in 1981. So he had a tough couple of years to start. We entered into a recession. Unemployment was above 10%. We were losing a lot of jobs. He survived an assassination attempt. Just a really tough 2 to 3 years to start. And he went on vacation in 1983 to Augusta National Golf Club. He was invited there by a member, and he stayed in the Eisenhower cabin, which was a cabin built for President Eisenhower during his first term. It was built in conjunction, actually pretty cool, by Augusta National and the Secret Service. So it's kind of got all the bells and whistles that you would imagine a president would need. And so he's staying there. He's there for the weekend. One of the days, this guy named Charlie Hiles comes by, and he's a local resident. I think he was about 40 years old or something at the time. He's a local resident of Augusta. He drives by the course, like he has every other day. And he sees, basically just a massive police presence out there, more than normal. And he asks the cop, he says, hey, what's going on in there? The cop basically tells him, look, the president's in there golfing. We got a bunch of people here. That's how it goes. So he doesn't think much of it. He drives home, and he sits down, he watches TV, pours himself a drink. And Charlie Hiles, for the background of him, he was having a tougher year than anyone could have imagined. So within the last 12 months, he had lost his wife. He was in the middle of a divorce. He had lost his job just a month prior, basically, and his dad passed away. So he was kind of in a very unique and negative kind of minded situation. So he pours himself a drink, he's sitting down, and across the screen comes the news, breaking news, the U.S. just lost another couple thousand jobs. I think it was American steel workers were being cut and the jobs were being shipped overseas. So that's kind of what he did previously, and he just gets super frustrated. So he claims now that he didn't really, nothing much was going through his head, but he jumps in his truck, he drives down to Augusta National, and basically just doesn't stop when he gets there. He goes right through the gate that's closed, so he breaks down the gate. And now if you look at the gate going kind of down Magnolia Lane at Augusta, there's these bunch of, you'll see at any major sporting event, there's these massive kind of steel pillars, right, that'll stop cars or anything kind of coming through. They didn't have those at the time. So they do now. They put them in right after, actually. But he barrels through. He goes all the way down to the clubhouse. He jumps out of the car, has a pistol in his hand, and grabs basically what was the equivalent of, I want to say, a parking attendant of sorts, right? The guy was helping a member of the club put clubs in their car. So he grabs that guy, kind of puts the gun to his back, and is like, hey, follow me. They go inside. He goes in the pro shop, basically locks the door. There's 4 other people in there. So now he's got 5 hostages. Everyone's screaming. He's got a gun, obviously. And they're basically like, what do you want? And he's just like, I want to talk to the president, right? So he was so pissed off at the kind of the job loss and what was going on in America and the situation in his own personal life that he was basically just like, I just really wanted to talk to the president about what was going on. And the funniest thing of the whole situation is that he voted for Ronald Reagan, right? So he was kind of a believer in what he was doing. I just think that he thought he was kind of down on his luck and was having a bad day. But more of it, he's in there with 5 hostages now. They go to the Secret Service obviously hears word of it, and they kind of grab President Reagan and they say, hey, look, there's this guy in the clubhouse who's screaming about you. He's got hostages and a gun. He wants to talk to you. So they're like, let's leave. And President Reagan, to his credit, really was like, no, I'll just call him, right? He's like, I'll call him and try to talk him down. So there's kind of varying accounts about what happened with the phone call, but most of them kind of agree that President Reagan made the call, and either the connection was spotty or kind of Charles inside or Charlie didn't realize that it was the president. He thought it was a recording. But one way or the other, he got extremely frustrated that they couldn't kind of connect, and he smashed the phone. So right now there's no way for them to connect. And so whether that was smart or not, I'm not sure, but he smashes the phone. And they're like, okay, President Reagan, let's get out of here, right? So they basically get him in the kind of the armed motorcade, and there's these cool pictures that I put on Twitter of, it's all the Secret Service agents, and they're trying to look like they belong on a golf course with their jackets and their duck boots and kind of all that gear. But then they got Uzis and machine guns and all this stuff, so it's pretty funny. But they basically, they usher the president out. They bring him back to the cabin where he's safe and kind of protected, and they tell Charlie hey man, tough luck, he's not coming, right? So Charlie kind of releases the hostages one by one, and then eventually he just realizes, 2 hours later, he's like, hey, look, this isn't going to happen, puts his gun down and surrenders. And so no hostages got hurt or anything, which I think is probably the positive of the story. But there was only one gunshot that was fired the entire time. And kind of funny enough, it was fired by Charlie himself, and he basically just fired it against the wall because the cops didn't even believe the gun worked. Right? They kind of sensed that he wasn't really there to hurt anyone. It was more of just anger and frustration. But you got to take the guy seriously when he has a gun and hostages. So that actual bullet hole was actually in the wall at the pro shop until recent renovations at Augusta. And I want to say, I didn't know this, but someone commented on it, that the bullet was saved after the renovations, and they kind of put it in this case of memorabilia at Augusta.
Wow,
so pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. But I think the interesting part of the whole thing was that most people obviously didn't know this story. It kind of got swept under the rug. And the reason why was because, so that was October 23rd, I want to say. And later that night, literally an hour after this happened, unfortunately 240, I think, American service members were killed by suicide bombers in Beirut, Lebanon.
Wow.
So literally, this was back, right, like everything was going to be on the news or print the next morning. There was no Twitter, no social media, that kind of thing. So he was off the news before he was even on, right? The distraction immediately turned to kind of what was going on overseas. And Reagan, there's some funny pictures of him. He's kind of in his robe in the Eisenhower cabin, and they're kind of briefing him on what happened in Lebanon. And one of the hostages that was a member of the Secret Service, he laughs about it now because by the time he even got to go home and have back to his hotel and have a drink kind of after the whole ordeal, they called him back and they were like, hey, look, we got to get the president back to Washington.
Jeez.
So Reagan didn't even sleep there that night. It was obviously an exhausting day for him.
Well,
but yes, most people kind of didn't hear about it because of the situation overseas.
Man, Joe.
But Joe, the caveat to that story is, the gentleman that broke in, but he served 5 years in jail, but things worked out for him when he came out. I like that part of the story.
Yeah. I tried to at least bring a little positive to it at the end because he got, obviously, when you hear that story, it's kind of you may think he's a little crazy or a little wild, and to some degree, to do something like that, you might have to be.
Right.
But he did his time in prison. I think he was sentenced to 10 years, and he did 5 and was paroled. And basically, he quit drinking. He got back together with his wife. And he moral of the story is he was given a Bible in jail, he says. And he became a Christian, and he started teaching Sunday school after that. So he ended up passing away a few years ago, but his life turned around dramatically, and he lived a good, I want to say 30, 40 years after that. So things certainly got better for him.
That's a great story, man. Joe, that was wonderful. I had to have you on to tell our audience something like that. You don't hear stuff like that very often. How the heck did you even find out about that?
It's crazy. I mean, I do a lot of research, right? So I talk about the money and business behind really every sport. And with the Masters coming up, that's obviously a unique one. And I've kind of, last year in November, I guess, since it was only a few months ago, I did kind of like the 10 coolest things about the Masters, like 10 unknown things. And it involved the wine cellar in the basement and kind of the crow's nest and all those typical things. Yeah. And people really attached to this one. And I didn't realize it's a story that most people really haven't heard.
Joe, he's got over 173,000 followers on Twitter. He's a great follow. It's Huddle Up, and it's a sports business newsletter, and he just put some great stuff up on Twitter. I would tell you guys to follow him at Joe Pompliano.
Or there's his read, huddleup.com. It's a free email every day that I'll give to you and stuff like that.
So I tried to go to the website. Is it huddleup.substack.com?
So the easiest way to do it is just to go to readhuddleup.com. It's basically like a dummy website that just pushes you towards my Substack, which is the newsletter platform.
Okay, I got you.
That's awesome, man. We got to have you on for more stuff. I'm going to keep reading it, Joe. The more fun stories you put out there, the more times we got to have you on here in Detroit. Where are you located?
I'm in New York City, guys.
Of course you are.
I'm happy to come on. I got a bunch of these, but yeah, I'm in New York City.
Of course you are.
You got it.
I would say, do you have another random great story like this that you can share with us as well, or point us in the right direction to go read it?
I can run you through one real quick that's just pretty simple. It's pinned to the only reason why I'll do this one is pinned to the top of my Twitter, so people can find it easily if they want a deeper dive.
I saw this one.
But yeah, I don't know if maybe you guys know this one by now, but it's about Junior Bridgman. So the way I framed it is he's an NBA player that he never made more than $350,000 in a given year in salary in the NBA, and he's worth over $600 million now, right?
Wow.
So I think, the easy thing is, right, people claim $350,000, that's like $1 million adjusted for inflation, that's easy, right? And I told the guy that said that in the comments, okay, if you can turn $1 million into 600, I'll find you $1 million.
Man,
right?
Right.
He played for the Bucks, right?
Done.
Didn't he play for the Bucks?
He played for the Bucks.
Yeah.
He played for the Bucks. So he was drafted by the Lakers actually, and they traded in. He was part of the Kareem trade, so he never even played for them, and he went to the Bucks. He was a good player, but he was a role player.
He was no Lou Alcindor, that's for sure.
How do you make his money?
He's a good player.
Investments.
So this is the cool part of the story. When he was playing, he was basically like, all right, I'm making really good money. But it's not going to be money where, like, it's not today's money where you can live forever and not worry about a thing and go retire, live on a beach, whatever. He was doing well, but he thought he needed to do more. So one of the things he was always fascinated with when he was playing was the fast food industry. So literally, while he was playing in the NBA, he was working off seasons at a Wendy's drive-thru.
Wow.
So imagine pulling up to a drive-thru and kind of getting handed your burger and fries or whatever it is, and an NBA player that you're watching on TV hands it to you, right? So he, during the course of his career, by the time he retired, he owned 3 of them. And then basically when he had more time and was investing and kind of trying to multiply his money more aggressively, he basically just franchised a bunch of them. He owned some Chili's and some other restaurants like that, and he got them up to, I want to say, like 350 restaurants in like 12 states.
Wow.
So he built a massive portfolio of restaurants.
Good for him.
And then he ended up selling them, actually. Now he's one of Coca-Cola's largest distributors.
That's awesome.
He's done quite well for himself, yeah.
Hey, Joe, man, thanks a million for coming on. Give him a follow.
I know what rabbit hole Maz will be down this weekend,
Me
bro.
too.
Him and I both do. This is awesome, and I think that these are the intricacies of the sort of the whys that we find. So thanks for being a part of the show,
Thanks, Joe.
Of course, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right,
Yeah.
Joe Pompliano. Oh, man.
Yeah, give him a follow on social media. This is some very interesting stuff.
How about that?
I'm gonna go check out his social media
I
and
love
see what
that
other
stuff. I
great
know
stories.
you do too, Maz. It's
You know
like,
it.
but it's
Rabbit
like how
hole
you
it
get
is.
here, but so there's 2 things of that, just real quick, is the evolution of how sometimes where it didn't come out, but because greater things in the world happened or whatever. But also too, is I look at it as the path of this one guy that that led him to his path to his salvation, I guess. And
he had to go to jail to be
I don't
saved.
condone anybody to go put somebody up for hostage, but the fact that I love the fact, and you can tell with Joe, like he said, I'm going to bring it around and tell you the good thing, the positive at the end, which I always agree with. Kick the dog and pet the dog.
It's all good. That's what you do with me, right?
Yeah.
That looks like when I first saw that picture right there, that looks like an 80s cop gang movie that the bad guys are going to, meet the drug deal at the golf course, right? Like it looks,
Secret Service looks a lot different now, that's for sure.
They look like a bunch of thugs.
Great job by Eazy and Luke on that.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
good
boys.
job,
Good job.
guys. All right, when we come back, we will get to Lions coach Dan Campbell speaking to all the Ford workers. So stick around. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fayette at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys. And ladies, this is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
How do I follow Joey's Snoop Dogg underwear with Hall Financial? Let me see. How can I do it? Just call Hall Financial. You need to get out of your house. You need to get into a new one. Or if you're in your old one, you need to get refinanced and get it now. Interest rates are always changing, so now's the time to call Hall Financial. Hall Financial is fast. They do all the heavy lifting for you. So call davidhallmortgage.com. You don't call it. You click on it, davidhallmortgage.com, and they will get you started. Hall Financial, lower payments, better options, more personal attention. Tell them Maz and Mike Broadwell and Pilar and D-Mac and everyone here from Woodward sent you.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from MyBookie Studios. It's Friday, April 9th. And it is time for us to get to the clip that we promised you guys. Lions coach Dan Campbell speaking to the Ford workers. We got that clip, right, Eazy?
Yeah, he even told them, I'm going to bite your kneecaps off. Listen.
This is a unique place, and anybody who's an outsider that looks outside in, the first thing they think about is what you shouldn't about Detroit, because they don't know. They don't know shit about it. And so adversity is just a word. That's all it is. It's not something that holds you back. It's not something that keeps you from doing what you want to do. Well, that to me, that's this community, and this is a place you want to raise kids. It's a place that, man, if we can ever create a winner, which is the whole idea, that's why I'm here. Excuse my language, f the weather, all right? You'll want to be here. You'll want to be here, all right? Because I'm serious, man. Everybody's South Florida, and you go to Texas and LA, but I'm telling you right now, man, you build a winner here, people want to be here. Hell, my first game here in 06, we're playing Seattle, and I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's like you couldn't hear. That's on us to make it to where our fans will want to yell, and they do want to be a part of it. And so I get that, man. And I know we're in this all talk phase, all right? But, man, I will do everything in my power, and so will my staff, who, by the way, is a kick-ass staff. I believe in these guys with everything in my heart. We will get these guys to, well, they will fight their ass off to the end. I know that. And we will try to put ourselves in the very best position to freaking win at the end of a game. That's the idea. Now, if we have a pin, here's what I'd love to do is I'd love every one of you guys to sign this for me. Just sign your name to this. I'm going to put this in my office because this is a reminder to me.
I'm ready.
I love that.
I'm ready.
I tweeted, hey, whose kneecap you want me to bite, coach? You tell me. I'm on. Whatever you need, you got D-Mac. I would love. That is, because here's the one thing, right? I mean, I got chills because of the sincerity and that is who he is. And when you listen to people of the why, I always say I need to know why. He knows the why. We know the weather sucks. He knows the weather sucks, but we're going to want to be here. And I know because being part of the Detroit Red Wings, it didn't matter how much it snowed, how cold it was, in the heart of like the 90s and early 2000s and stuff like that. Everybody was all in. We're a football community. I'm the first one, and all us hockey guys are the first ones to say, the football, we want it. It's going to be bigger because it's everybody's sport, but that's the guy you want. And you heard that, and you also heard, I love my coaches. I love my staff. They're hardworking guys. That's everything else, and I love the fact of what he did at the end. And he didn't do it for something out of posterity. He did it something out of what he believes in, because I guarantee that when he's having a rough day or the Lions are having a rough day, whatever, but he's going to go in and he looks at that hat and going, wow, I know what it's like to be there, and I don't know what it's like to be on the front line, but as a grinder and everything else, I'm going to look into it and look at that hat, and I'm going to do my work. That's the same thing as the grind line, right? We just implemented how hard we thought people would work and didn't bitch and moan, care about the weather, and just did what they needed to do.
Right.
Bravo, because it's not noise. It's reality, and you watch it because he's putting it out there so that we hold him accountable. When's the last time upper management, ownership in the Lions organization has been saying, yes, hold us accountable. We're going to be held accountable, but it's work ethic. So I couldn't be more excited to be a fan, to have him as my coach. Just that fires me up. I want to go play right now.
I think it's great that he addresses not just the team and the media about the team, but I love that he's getting out within the community and firing up the fans, firing up the community. Because I mean, look, I've been a Detroit sports fan for a little over 5 years, and we need it. We really we need that pep talk just as much as the athletes do. So good for him for getting out into the community. Of course, he went to Ford employees, of course, but
I wonder if he can get me a good lease. My car lease is coming up. You think he can help me out, Mac?
What's that?
You think he can get me a good lease on a Ford?
You know what? I mean, if you behave and he likes you, you know what I'm saying, is that you might be able to. I think he's got it. But here's the thing about that it's not a, I don't look at it as like he's pepping up or whatever. He's going and saying, this is what I'm going to do. And I see you and you see me and stuff like that. And as just the people in this town, right? Whether you're a fan of or not, to know that that's part of your city, right? It's part of the ingredient to
and I think it's also important because look, if he communicates with the city itself, right, the fans, win or lose, he's in the trenches with us, is what it makes me feel like. So I feel that there's some cities that love their coach. They love him a lot more when they're winning, but either way, they love their coach.
I want him to stick it to guys, and I like Colin Cowherd, but when he called him Fred Flintstone and laughed, and they all snickered at him. The only guy that really bought in was our boy, what the heck? Who's the punter? Help me.
Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee. He called him MCDC, Motor City Dan Campbell. We have the shirt on there, the Lions shirt that we have on our website, Alpha Positive. No. We got the Bite Your Kneecap T-shirt as well on the Woodward Sports Network store. Go out and buy those. The guys here rock them. They haven't gotten me my size yet, but I'm working on it. Anyway, I've been here since '93. And the Lions were always my third favorite team because of Thanksgiving Day. Like the Jets and Giants, that's my team I grew up with. But the Lions, they're above the Jets and Giants now. They truly are. I'm almost here half my life. I love this team, and I laugh, I cry. I put the hashtag out, rebuilding since 57. I mean, I use it all the time. But it's okay if it comes from us here in Detroit. But when you pick on us on the outside, that's where I get pissed off and I get defensive. And that's our game on Thanksgiving, regardless of how bad we are. I'm proud. I know my family's watching in Jersey, and they know I'm at that game now. This is the game I was watching as a kid. And then the first time I went to a Thanksgiving Day game here in Detroit, I mean, I got like the chills like I was at the Super Bowl or whatever. Yeah. But that's how I feel when I go to a Lions game. And I cannot wait till they win. It's going to be
We'll get there.
I hope they do it while I'm still around.
Well,
I really
we'll get
do.
there. Aaron Rodgers
Please.
is going to go host Jeopardy full time, leave the NFL, and it's going to leave us wide open for that shot, right?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I like it. All right, guys, let us know your thoughts. How did you guys feel about Dan Campbell's speech to all of the Ford workers? Did you feel that it really did resonate with you as a fan? Let us know your thoughts at Woodward Sports. Of course, you can give us a call, 313-552-6322. When we come back, it's time to play a little bit of Me Gusta o No Me Gusta. So stick around. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from MyBookie Studios. I'm your girl, Pilar Lastra. To my left, we've got D-Mac. To my right, we've got Tom Mazzawey. We've got Fish in the Fishbowl. We've got Eazy D behind the glass, keeping us in line. And, of course, our boy Luke, handling all of our social media at Woodward Sports. And, of course, you can give us a call, 313-552-6322. The lovely voice you will hear first is Fish in the Fish Tank. So call in and say hi. All right, guys, it is time for us to play Me Gusta o No Me Gusta. If it's your first time tuning in and you want to play with us on our social media, it's very simple. Me gusta means I like it. No me gusta means I don't like it, to the statement I'm about to read. You boys ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Governor Whitmer has the right in asking schools to shut down voluntarily.
She has the right, or she was right?
Sports. Oh, was right. Not has the right. You're right. Governor Whitmer was right in asking schools to voluntarily shut down sports for 2 weeks. ¿Te gusta o no me gusta? If she asked sports, she asked school in general.
Yes, she was right, because that's all she can do is ask. From the way that it's done before, and because she's on hot water and stuff like this. So this is her asking, making people aware and stuff like this. But whether they don't, like, this is a suggestion, right? So it's up to us to be adults. What worries me is when this 2 weeks is up, what next? So, but for now, yes, it's the only thing she did. Te gusta. I agree. She was right in saying, I recommend.
So
not
you're
making
saying,
us.
right? So you're saying you're afraid of in 2 weeks.
Well, I'm just waiting to see in 2
If she's
weeks.
gonna
Ask me this
enforce it.
question that she will.
Will she
if it's
enforce
not
it or
better,
not?
she will. That's what she's saying. I mean,
Right.
I'm just reading the tea leaves.
Right. The tea leaves. Maz, ¿te gusta o no te gusta?
Me gusta. I agree with what she did. I'm shocked, actually. I thought she was going to just pull the plug and shut us down again. That's what I had heard, a rumor. But she did the right thing this time, I think. I hope. You know, it's like I said, I thought the NHL maybe should call it quits for a couple of weeks. I said that yesterday. But this is, you know, our high school kids, our grammar school kids. I do want them to play sports. I told you that. But I wouldn't mind them shutting it down for any spring breakers that have gone out. I think they should stay home for 2 weeks, virtual learn. If you're playing outdoor sport, as long as you're not sick or whatever, you can play outdoors. You don't go in the locker room or anything like that. But I do agree with the way she put it this way. I'm not sure how it happened. She talked to President Biden last night, I know, and she was asking for more the
vaccines.
They turned her down, unfortunately, today. But I wonder if he told her, you better not shut down. You better not shut it down again. We're already in enough hot water over there. I'm not sure. I really don't know how it came about. But her past shows that she could have just pulled the plug, but she didn't. So I say, you did it good, Gov. Keep it going.
All right, Easy D, ¿te gusta o no te gusta?
Me gusta. I think she went about the right way. Like I as a defiant spirit myself, I must admit, being asked to do something.
No, not you.
Yeah, rather than told, it just feels better. You know, it doesn't feel like you're being bossed around and stuff like that. And just, it's the right thing to do. You give people the choice. This is America. That's what we pride ourselves on. And me gusta.
Well, let me ask you this, because you said, she did the right thing in giving you a choice. Somebody who's defiant, who likes to go against the grain, doesn't like being told what to do, which nobody does, right? Nobody likes to be told what to do. If you were the superintendent of a school district, or if you were the president, the dean of a school, or the principal of a school, would you shut down your school for 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks is nothing, honestly. Like, and the fact that she asked, it actually made me consider. It's like, wow, okay, I have a choice here, right? So 2 weeks truly is nothing. It's not an actual quarantine. It may be a pain in the ass to the parents who have to then go find babysitters or whatnot. But like, if we think about it in the long run, if it's truly going to help, and we all want to get back to normal life, what's 2 weeks?
Right. So it's funny that you would say that now, because they asked you. But had she said, we're shutting down for 2 weeks.
Hell no.
Exactly. That's exactly what would have happened. All right, real quick before we get to our break. Fish te gusta o no te gusta?
Sure, me gusta. I think it's smart.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with this. I think it's all the way around me gusta. I like that she asked. I think it's, coming back from spring break, I wish she would have almost just enforced it, because I feel like, 2 weeks from now you're going to enforce it? It's too late. Everybody already went through it after spring break. Come on, dude. But all right, let's see what happens. Let us know your thoughts. Te gusta o no te gusta? When we come back, we have got some WrestleMania 37 talk.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. It's going to get wild in here. We've got Dennis Farrel joining us, so do not go anywhere. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward. Look at him. Look at him. He's so happy. Don't go anywhere.
Let me tell you, brother.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from my bookie studios. Joining us on the show, we've got Dennis Farrel, ready to talk some WrestleMania 37, which happens tomorrow. Dennis, welcome to the show.
Now, what's up, Dennis?
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Listen,
Hopefully my connection's good.
Yeah, you're all good. Now, listen,
What's
I'm
going
going
on,
to
brother?
I'm going to do this introduction for everybody, right? Okay, so not only, now Tom Mazzawey is responsible for introducing me to Dennis Farrel. So Dennis, because of my love of wrestling. Now Dennis Farrel, along with a lot of other things, but he is the mastermind to our faction called Wrestling Perspective Podcast, which I will be streaming on the Woodward Sports Network at some point. You can find it on Fight TV. But Dennis is not only a fantasy football guru, Pilar, he's also the wrestling guy, so Wrestling Perspective Pod. So that's why I wanted to have him on. I couldn't think of anybody else. So, and if everybody check out the Wrestling Perspective Pod, yes, you've heard me talk about it. That's with Lars Fredrickson, lead singer of Rancid, Dimitri Young, Jason Kendall, baseball players, Petey Williams, two-time TNA star, and Dennis and myself. And we've gone over this WrestleMania. We talk wrestling all the time. Dennis, I want to bring you in for this weekend. First off, overview on your thoughts of the 2 days of WrestleMania and the card of what it has to entail.
You know, people kind of forget right now, WrestleMania is going to be the biggest group of people together since COVID. They're going to have more people than the Super Bowl. I think the Super Bowl had 22,000. WrestleMania is going to have 25,000. So if people think that wrestling's dead or fake or any of that stuff, keep in mind they're about to outdraw the Super Bowl this year.
Only because they're allowed, Denny. Come on now.
Well, they're
I mean,
allowed.
heck, I feel people would go to like a monster truck viewing right now because if they would open it up.
Hey, we were talking about.
But
We were
that's not
talking
true.
about.
I like WrestleMania.
We were
I'm
talking
excited
about
this.
WrestleMania 3 a couple of weeks ago. Of course, at the Silverdome, where they broke all the records. So I know WrestleMania is. I know it's the real deal, man, and I know I want you and Darren to have a good time with this. So what are you thinking from Raymond James Stadium? It's going to be nice. It looks great.
Which matches, Dennis, are you looking forward to? And we'll leave the, you know what? We'll leave the Lashley McIntyre championship to the end because we can talk about how we think the swerve's going on and we can imply to people what a swerve is. But which matches are you looking forward to?
Man, I'll be honest. There's so much for this weekend that I'm excited for. And we talked about this the other night, and it's not so much the matches, but it's about seeing the people back. I know Maz and the rest of you guys are not wrestling fans, so we're going to kind of speak Klingon here to you guys. But for me, it's Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. This is a match I'm really excited about. I really can't wait for it. I think that if you're not a wrestling fan or you used to watch back in WrestleMania 3 or you might have seen The Rock or Stone Cold, take a few minutes, maybe get your free Peacock, 7-day trial and watch it and get engaged again because John Cena is mainstream now. The Rock is the biggest action hero in the 2000s. You've got, Dave Bautista, who's basically one of the biggest names in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Wrestlers now are
Mike
becoming
the
more
Miz.
mainstream. So
yeah,
take the Miz, yeah. If you like the Miz, I know some people don't, but
he's hard to handle sometimes. Yeah, but
the whole point
oh man, I'm sorry, I'm trying to drive and drop the phone.
Are you driving?
Are you driving? I thought you were parked.
2 nights WrestleMania. I'm pulled over. Okay. It's a 2-night event for the second year in a row. I'm not a big fan of that. It takes away from it being special. So when I'm asked, because this is like the third interview I've done, and people want to know what I'm kind of excited about, I'm excited for it to go back to 1 night, so I don't have to break up my weekend to watch 2 nights of wrestling.
Yeah, well, dude, I could get into a whole thing about NXT TakeOver and wow, 2 nights of what we just had where if that's going to lead into it. Now, you mentioned Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Now, for people out there, that's the one where you're going to see probably Kevin Owens jump off of the pirate ship or do something crazy. The guy on the left's Kevin Owens, the guy on the right. Now, the thing is, these guys have all wrestled, for years and years and know each other. So it's the story that they want to tell. Obviously, the big one, to your point, Dennis, about the new star and the push is the 3-way triple threat match for the championship with Roman Reigns, who is the bad guy, but he would be, if you're looking for the next John Cena, The Rock in the middle. Roman Reigns is the Hollywood star. You have Edge on the right, the rated R superstar coming back, and Daniel Bryan, who 2 of the greatest workers in the league. This could propel Roman Reigns to movie stardom because of his character in that. What are your thoughts? Do you think Reigns wins the championship, or do they give it to Edge and stuff like this, Dennis? Or do you think this is the push that you were talking about Cena, Batista, The Rock, and stuff like that WD does?
You set it up perfectly. And for people who aren't wrestling fans, they have to remember the fans hated Roman Reigns for the longest time because he was kind of like the Hulk Hogan and John Cena. They made him be the unbeatable good guy. Eat your vitamins, say your prayers. I'm gonna, and the fans kind of rejected him. And over COVID, he backed out because he had fought cancer, and he kind of disappeared. Came back as the bad guy or the heel, and since then, everybody seems to love him. So there's the backstory there. And with this turn in his character, I really think they're going to keep the belt on him because as much as we've talked on the podcast about Drew McIntyre and how Drew single-handedly kept the WWE afloat when there was no sports on. The only thing people could watch was wrestling. I really think Roman Reigns took it to the next level where he not only elevated himself but the company with the way he turned. And I can't see them giving the belt to a guy who's been gone for 9+ years and Daniel Bryan, who's kind of the undersized underdog in this match.
Well, you know, if you're behind the sceners, right, Daniel Bryan's sort of on his way out. He's one of the greatest workers of all time, more behind the scenes. The thing with Edge, the only thing is because Edge gave up his title 9 years ago because of injury. And does this, Dennis, do you think that because what's the W being one night, WrestleMania used to be the Sunday where they do something crazy, but then on the Monday Night Raw, they'd flip it back right. I'm not expecting because of the commitment that, like you said, not only Roman Reigns carrying the second half of COVID, but also the character that he's developed. But let's go into the Lashley, Drew McIntyre, because this is the one that has the most intriguing. And why? Because if you've heard of the Hurt Business, right, where Bobby Lashley is the champion and Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander and MVP, where they're that faction, they just broke up. When I mentioned the swerve, Dennis, can you explain, because you said Drew McIntyre, who's one of my favorites, the Scottish Warrior, was crowned last year at this time without an audience. How do you see this match going? And do you think, as we touched on, that there's going to be a swerve, and a swerve means that the WWE likes to feed you one way and then flip it around on you the other way? Are we in for a swerve here and the Hurt Business and Bobby Lashley winning, or are we in for another Vince disappointment?
You know, I think it was you when we did our WrestleMania 37 preview show. I believe it was you were the one that said that, and by the way, as you kind of set it up, Bobby Lashley had this faction. He kind of broke it up. A lot of the fans, even some of the wrestlers, were upset about this. You know, in wrestling, and it's not a secret, African-American wrestlers are not appreciated as much throughout the WWE company. They kind of have a history of racism, unfortunately. And I really think this is them trying to turn the corner where Bobby Lashley will keep it. You might have even said that the Hurt Business might swerve, a trick, come back together and, you know, defeat Drew McIntyre, which I would like to see. Hopefully they can correct this mistake that they had. But, once again, both of these guys are guys that deserve to carry the company on their back, basically having the belt. And I don't know if there's a winner and a loser that I would be upset with in this match, although I'd like to see Bobby Lashley carry this belt a little bit longer before they make the change.
One last question for me, and then I'd like Pilar and you to have fantasy football.
Well, I've got WrestleMania questions.
Oh, you got WrestleMania questions?
Yeah.
Good. All right, I got to ask you this. All right. So for people out there, can you explain, as the pure wrestling, because of the history, that if they want to watch a wrestling match that should be beyond something that they've ever seen, technically, is Cesaro, Seth Rollins, and because of give them a little Ring of Honor history about that wrestling, and if you can tie it in because you're really good at that.
So a lot of people seem to think the only name in the game in wrestling is WWE. If you're not in WWE, you're not a real wrestler. As we know, we have a common friend in P.D. Williams in Impact Wrestling. And there are a lot of phenomenal companies out there, and different companies focus on different kind of things. If you really want to watch mat wrestling, which is just, amazing choreographed dancing, if you're into that kind of stuff, go watch Ring of Honor. I mean, the way they do it is above and beyond phenomenal. WWE has already come out and said many, many times that they're not a wrestling company, they're an entertainment company. And if you're into that, great. If you're into the pure wrestling, go check out Ring of Honor. I think Ring of Honor right now, as far as wrestling itself, is above and beyond #1 in the books.
And those two guys, why it is important, because they're graduates from Ring of Honor. So they'll take 20 years of wrestling together and make this match choreographed like a dance. It'll be like at the opera dancing or a play or something like that. These two guys here. And we hope the guy on the left, Cesaro, who's the Swiss Superman, who is unbelievable, we hope he wins.
All right, so... Dennis, I've got a question for you. As somebody who's been in and out of the world of watching wrestling, when I was a kid, I watched all the Mexican wrestling stuff back in the luchador eras, which I love. I still love watching. But then, you know, I grew up with guys like Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, Stone Cold Austin, all these guys. And then I was out of it for a little bit, and then I got back into it. Remember the guys I see on Sunday night's matchup? Randy Orton's going to be fighting, and then Saturday, The Miz, he's going to be on there. So for people who were ever into the MTV era and know him from that, you guys also did mention the Cesaro matchup, which is going to be really good. But for somebody who's been in and out and can watch it, all you have to do, it's $5 to subscribe to Peacock, or you can get your free subscription. What is another matchup that you recommend for somebody who's been in and out of the world of the WWE and all this wrestling mania stuff to watch that can hook you back in?
You know what? I'm gonna give a little bit of props to the ladies here, and maybe go out of your way to watch Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks, where you may know Sasha, you may not know. I think she's the cousin of Snoop Dogg, and they've interacted a few times before on WWE TV. I really think that this is going to be my personal sleeper match of the night, and both of these girls will tear it down. The storytelling has been phenomenal. You can always go on YouTube and watch the video prep packages where WWE, nobody can touch them when it comes to telling a story in a 30-second to 60-second video package. So go check it out. And look, go get the Peacock. I'm not getting paid by them, but if you don't like WrestleMania, then go watch The Office the rest of the night. It's okay.
I love it. That's,
or the Munsters.
Or the Munsters. Or I Love Lucy, whatever it is.
Well, the Munsters are on Peacock. That's where I get them.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
All right, that's Dennis Farrell. Thanks for your time, Dee. Thanks for not getting in an accident, so I know that you will be able to see our do our Wrestling Perspective podcast again.
Are you guys going to have a watch party at all?
Yeah, by myself.
I got you.
You can't watch with these guys. We're going to do that for when it's live. But I can't wait to have you back on when the fantasy football starts so we can learn something else.
Yes.
But thanks again, Dennis. Dennis Farrell. Check him out at Undisputed. Dennis,
thanks, Danny.
Yeah, so that's Dennis Farrell. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for indulging me at the desk or at home to give me a little bit of wrestling moments.
There's some wrestling fans that are online that love it. I have a buddy, Darren Hill. He's like, he wants to go one-on-one with you guys. He wants you to have him on the wrestling show. Darren
that's
Hill.
it. How about this? Woodward Sports Network family. Why don't you write some emails or whatever like this, and the quicker you get them, you want me to do a wrestling show on here on the network, the people get what they want in my world. So, I mean, if that's what it is, let's build it.
D-Mac, when are we checking out Jay's wrestling school?
Easy. Have you seen my schedule, bro?
Fair.
Fair. And you know what? You know when? When COVID's over. Or when COVID's done, when it's safe. We're gonna get out.
So we can have you, Jay Adams, and Dennis Farrell mix it up on the wrestling show.
Why? You can have a lot of. There's a million, like you said, Matt. There's more people that are into wrestling these days than you.
There really
than you know.
I tip my hat to you guys. You got it. You got an audience. There's no question.
Yep.
No question.
It's very entertaining to watch.
What's that tell you? Maybe need a segment every now and then. I can talk wrestling every freaking day.
Fine, man.
I love it.
You name it, you got it.
Love it.
Oh, speaking of that,
all right, guys.
I'm gonna get my pick of the week.
It is time for us to get to who you like. All right.
Oh my God, I owe people.
Maz, we'll get to you first.
I owe people. I owe Kevin. I know Kevin was relying on me last night, and I gave you the Kings and Bucks. They both sucked. Pistons blew out the Kings, and the Bucks lost. I'm sorry. That's all I could say. 0-2 last night. I'll try to get you back on the horse. I'm going baseball, my true love. Take the Dodgers over the Nationals tonight. Walker Buehler gets the ball. I love that matchup against the Nationals, so take the Dodgers. And you're not going to like this. I think the Indians will beat the Tigers tonight. I like the matchup for Cleveland. Plesac gets the ball against who the hell is he pitching against here? The Tigers.
Oh,
Julio Teheran, who pitched decent a couple of days ago. But nonetheless, I'll take Zach Plesac over him. So give me the Indians and give me the Dodgers.
All right, there you have it. Those are Maz's picks for the night, for the weekend. I know, D-Mac, you're still going through you got it?
No, I got it because.
Why don't you pick a WrestleMania?
What do you think I'm doing, Maz? At mybookie.ag, let's go plus 140. Roman Reigns in the triple threat match. They're all plus money. Edge is plus 110. Brian's plus 200. The plus 140 Roman Reigns. Take it to the bank.
How the hell do you bet wrestling? How the hell is that allowed?
They put it up on the website in a state that they allow gambling, and you put money towards it. That's how it works, man.
All
It's like betting preseason football.
Easy. Who you got?
I'll go WrestleMania. Give me Bobby Lashley. D-Mac saying the Hurt Business is going to come back. He's going to be down in the match.
Oh, I got to see what your odds are on that one.
The squad's going to come back. They're going to save him, and Bobby Lashley's going to win whoever the hell he's fighting.
All right, there you have it. Fish, who we got?
One correction from yesterday. Talked about that Australia and New Zealand, you can travel between countries. Yes, only between Australia and New Zealand.
Fair
so if you
enough.
live in Australia, you can go to New Zealand. If you live in New Zealand, you can go to Australia. That starts April 19th.
Okay.
Here's the bet of the night, guys. Will Logan Paul be put through a table at WrestleMania? Plus 900 for a yes.
Ooh.
Let's do it.
That's worth $1.
Yeah.
Do it.
I love it.
All right, Fish. Who you like?
You have I have the Blues. I have the Blues. This is football.
Okay.
They're playing tomorrow against the Suns out in Gold Coast.
Okay, Australian football.
So I hope the Blues win. Be a fun game.
Okay.
I've got you taking you're getting an upset. You're taking the Sharks over the Roosters.
Ooh.
This is rugby tomorrow. They're playing a neutral site game out, same place, or Central Coast. They're playing.
Hey, before
All right,
we
there
sign
you
off,
have it.
easy. Both Lashley and Drew McIntyre are minus 120, meaning it could go.
Yeah, it's an even pick.
What is Randy Orton
But it
on
could
there?
go either way. Well, Randy Orton's fighting the Fiend, right? So that's like shenanigans, and that's the only reason
I
that
used to
wish.
love Randy Orton.
How about Hulk? What's the Hulk?
I wish it was.
Growing like an avocado grove in
How about
Southern
the Iron
California.
Sheik? What's his odds?
Stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Not worth the money?
No, Orton's plus 300.
All
But
right.
if you don't think, see, the whole thing would ruin it if you know he has this thing with Fiend and Alexa Bliss, so it's all like, it'd be better if it was cinematic. It's going to be funny how they do it live. Anyways, tune back in on Monday because I will give you a wrap-up.
There you have it, my friends. Thank you so much. We had a very fun and busy show. Thanks so much to the people who called in. Paul Kukla, Mike, our winner, congratulations.
Yeah, Mike.
Pete and Kevin for calling in. Thank you guys so much for your support. Joe Pompliano, make sure that you're following him on social media. He's got some amazing stories. And, of course, our friend Dennis Farrel for giving us our WrestleMania fix for the weekend. For D-Mac, for Maz, for Fish, for Luke, for Eazy, I'm Pilar Lastra. You guys enjoy your weekend.